Fiber and protein are considered together, as if fiber and protein are equivalent.
They didn't even think that protein was important enough to have its own category, nor fiber. Coach Greg, and a new nutrient profiling system was recently developed in order to help people know what they should eat on a diet to be healthy, to lose weight, to be generally a fit person. Isn't that wonderful? They rate each food on a scale from 0 to 100. And so what that does is it makes it simple. Simply eat the foods highest on the scale and it's healthy. That would be amazing, and that is what they tried to develop. I've seen the results, and you're not going to believe, literally, I don't think you're going to believe the results. Some foods absolutely make no sense, the number score that they got, while others, what? And so wouldn't it be amazing? You could go to the store and say, well, for each food, I'm just going to look at the score, and the higher the number, the better. Doesn't mean it all has to be high, but you can pick. Educate the consumers. Do you really think that people can currently look at food labels and decide for themselves what's healthy and what's not healthy? People are clueless. And half the time the labels lie. They're literally allowed to lie on the label up to 20% and get away with it. But imagine if there was a system where you could trust the person. I could do it, but they never asked me. So let's see their results and you tell me if you agree with them.
The idea is to provide an objective, bias-free, clear profiling system of healthy and unhealthy foods.
Sounds great, doesn't it? Isn't that what you want? I think this is perfect. It's amazing. You just go to the store and you read on the food label, scores a 90, that's good. I want that, it's healthy. Scores a 10, bad. Probably shouldn't eat that as much. Can you eat sometimes? Not all the time. It would immediately allow parents, the general person, an immediate score to say, this is good for you, this is not good for you. And I don't want to talk about demonizing food, but y'all know some foods are healthier than others. And that's quite literally what they've done here. But look at which foods they've said are good and which they've said are bad.
It's a nutrient profiling system developed over 3 years that incorporates cutting-edge science on how different characteristics of food positively or negatively impact health.
So in brief, scores of 70 or higher in green, these are the foods you want to eat the most often. 31 to 69, okay, moderate amounts, you can still eat them, of course. And things 30 or less, try to eat less of those. It's not really good for you. So remember that. 70 and above is good. 30 and below is bad. Anywhere in the middle, well, it's in the middle.
First, all fruit gets the highest score of 100.
All right, first things first, and I do like this. All fruit, all of them, have a score of 100. I have no problem with that. Any fruit, any kind of fruit, it's 100. I like that. Fruits in general are healthy. I would say the same thing about vegetables. All fruits and all vegetables get a score of 100. If you eat mostly fruits and vegetables, you're going to be more satiated, more full, and probably get more micronutrients. What is wrong with eating a lot of fruits and vegetables? So I'm okay with that. So this diet doctor, he's not really a fan of that. He's like, well, what is there really in a watermelon that's good for you? And I'm like thinking, the fact that it's really low in calories and can make you full, satiated, allow you to eat in a calorie deficit, help you to lose weight, help you to stay on your diet and it tastes good. Those are the benefits, but I get it. He's worried about people with diabetes, possibly having spikes in blood sugar and so on. That's fine. We can agree to disagree slightly here, but that's okay.
And Cheerios at a 95.
Cheerios got a 95. Cheerios cereal got a 95. Why would Cheerios be a 90? What is inherently so good? What is so good about Cheerios that gives it a score of a 95? 95! Is that helping you lose weight? Is it full of micronutrients? Is it full of protein and fiber? Just think of it. You go to the store, Cheerios has a score of 95. You're thinking, well, I'm buying all this. I'm going to eat tons of Cheerios. Go help me lose weight, be healthy. But is it really healthy? What is in Cheerios that makes you healthy? Fruit and vegetables, 100. I'm cool with that. Cheerios a 95. Maybe it should be down a little. Don't you agree? So you got to think, why is these processed foods so high on the list? Did Cheerios pay them? Hey, give us a few points higher. Seems kind of arbitrary. It's supposed to be unbiased, and that's what you want. And frankly, if I did this chart, it would be biased to what I believe. Y'all know I think you should eat a lot of fiber and protein and low-calorie dense food, so I'm going to score those higher. Maybe they shouldn't be as high as I think. But if a bunch of us got together and they dropped the highs and the lows or took the average score, it would at least give you a decent, respectable number that's representative of what most people would say. I can't imagine any group of professionals that would come together and give Cheerios a score of 95. And also in the green with a score of 81, non-fat chocolate frozen yogurt. Frozen yogurt and 80... Gertie? Frozen yogurt and 81 seems a little high for frozen yogurt. Is frozen yogurt really something you should eat all the time? Well, in comparison to ice cream, yes. So I'm sure ice cream is lower on the list, but if I had to rank frozen yogurt, it would be somewhere in the middle score, somewhere between a 30 and a 70, something that you can eat a moderate amount of times. And chocolate-covered almonds. Hey, I'm perfectly okay with saying that almonds can score high, healthy fats and so on. But chocolate-covered almonds? How is that going to help people to lose weight, to stay at a healthy weight? You're going to eat so many, it tastes so good? Not really that healthy. Chocolate-covered almonds. I mean, what's next? Chocolate-covered raisins? Really? Glossettes? Oh, Glossettes, a score of 75. Let's eat a bunch of chocolate bars. Chocolate. And sweet potato chips. 69, dude. Really? Sweet potatoes are that healthy? I don't think that if they're deep fried and made into chips, they're that healthy. If it had said potato chips, 69, would you have agreed with that? 69, come on, that's a little high. Lucky Charms, 60. Lucky Charms is a flippin' 60. Does anyone think that Lucky Charms should be high on the health list? And what's on the bottom of this score in red here? Ground beef. Regular, just ground beef, full of protein. Protein to build muscle. 26. It's below a 30, meaning hardly eat it ever. Minimize this. Cheddar cheese. 28. Eggs fried in butter. Well, frankly, the eggs I would score super high through the roof, absolutely in green. With butter, I'd put it lower, probably have it somewhere in the middle, 30 to 70. It's a 29 in the red zone. Try not to eat this. You would almost think this was written by somebody who wants everyone to be vegan. Is it really that unhealthy to consume animal products? Is it worse than Fruit Loops or chips? And grape juice of 58. Really? Grape juice. Processed juice. Grape juice. Just full of sugar. That's higher than ground beef. Why? What is healthier about grape juice than a burger, a steak, ground beef? I don't get it. It's just juice. Obviously, grapes are healthy, but how is grape juice healthier than something else?
And that's the other thing. When you're talking about the beneficial, positive aspects of food, you have to incorporate protein. I mean, protein is like the most important macronutrient that we can get, that we can't live without.
And this guy, he's not a bodybuilder, he's not jacked, he's not Mr. Olympia, and even he knows the importance of protein, giving reason after reason as to why we should incorporate protein in a healthy diet. And they didn't get it all wrong. Some of it's good, but there are several biases. Almonds, salted, 91. Why not score to 91? That's fair. Tuna salad in light mayo, 73. Perfectly healthy. A coffee cappuccino with non-fat milk is in the 70s, still also green. But chicken breast grilled with no skin, where do you think that scores? 61. How is that not in the 90s, if not 100? I mean, I can see them lowering it below 100, saying, well, it's from animal products, we don't know, this and that. But to have it in moderate, it's protein, low fat, high quality source of protein. How is this not in the 90s? A 61. It's about the same as Lucky Charms. You trying to tell me Lucky Charms is as good for you as a chicken breast? What are you thinking? And cornflake cereal, a 19. And so cornflakes is a 19, Lucky Charms is in the 60s, and Cheerios are a 95. How can one cereal be so much better or worse than the other? Cornflakes? A 19. How is cornflakes that much worse for you than Lucky frickin' Charms? Happy to see a fast food cheeseburger scores only an 8. That makes sense. You would think fast food, burgers, fries, stuff like that would all be in the red. Wonder where they would rank protein ice cream or my anabolic cookbook. Imagine if you could swipe past each recipe and would literally have a score. This is a 95, this is a 55, this is a 60, and so on. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't you love to go to the grocery store and for each food that you pick up, you can see the score right there. Above a 70, you're good. Below that, well, moderation, and if it's really low, well, try not to eat too many of those. That would be amazing. But as you can see, there is so much bias, and the people that put together these scores, they have to be honest individuals and actually care about giving accurate and scientific information.
I think it's very clear how devalued and undervalued protein is. If you look at their chart about their domains and attributes with the FCS, what they call it, fiber and protein are considered together, as if fiber and protein are equivalent.
They didn't even think that protein was important enough to have its own category, nor fiber. Let's just combine the two. It's only about 1% thought into this. So the people who put this together literally said, fiber and protein, yeah, whatever. We don't need to consider that. That is not of any importance. My cookbooks are literally always thinking about these two very important details. If you have more protein and more fiber, you're going to burn off more calories and be more satiated, more full, and be healthier, build muscle. How could they overlook this?
To lump them together and give them a 0.5 weight, I mean, it's so devaluing of the importance of protein that I just don't quite understand it.
They gave it a 0.5% weight. So unimportant, they had to put protein and fiber together because it wasn't even worth 1% of their trouble. Why would they do this?
Also, when they talk about food-based ingredients, at the very bottom are red or processed meats lumped together.
And in categorizing food-based ingredients, they literally combine red meats with processed meats. Why would you do that? Obviously, we can debate whether processed meats are healthy or not, but they can't be the same thing as natural meats. Processed versus natural meats are not the same thing, so how can you combine them together? It would be like saying, is natural bodybuilding and enhanced bodybuilding, let's combine them together and decide if it's healthy. Obviously, there's a huge difference if you train natural versus enhanced. Obviously, training natural is healthier than abusing PDs. This would be the exact same comparison. And even when you do this ranking system, do they consider the following? Hunger, satiety, metabolism, and enjoyment. When I designed my cookbook, I thought, people need to like what they're eating. It's one thing for a diet to be healthy and quite another for someone to like their diet. If you don't like the diet, are you actually going to stick to it? If you're starving all the time, even though you're eating healthy, are you going to stick to it? Of course not. Your willpower runs out. So when I designed my cookbook, it wasn't just about, I'm going to put all the healthiest foods in the world in this cookbook. It was, I'm going to put a ton of healthy food, make sure you have a balanced diet, ensure you have enough protein, but that you love what you're eating and that you're full. Because if you are, you will in fact stick to your diet for the rest of your life. If you've tried a diet in your past and it's failed, it's because the diet wasn't going to work for you. Doesn't mean the diet was bad, it means it wasn't taking into consideration your food enjoyment and satiety. If it did, you would have been able to stick to your diet. You would have. We all love foods, and if you take the joy of food away from you, how can you expect to stick to your diet? You don't have to worry about all the food rankings. If you get the cookbook, you just eat some of those foods, replacement of what you're eating right now, lowered the calories, made it more voluminous so that you're full, you lose weight, and you're going to be healthier. Do you really think you're going to lose a bunch of weight by eating mostly Cheerios and chocolate-covered almonds? It's not the way. So even though they might have scored high, doesn't mean it's going to be satiating. And if you eat in a calorie surplus, regardless of if it's in green or in red, you're going to lose weight. To lose weight, it will always be calories in versus calories out. You need, as in you are required to be in a deficit to lose weight. The diet that will work for you is the diet that allows you to eat at a deficit while being satisfied with the enjoyment of the foods that you're eating and keeping you full. So think of it. Does it make sense that a chart would come out where naturally occurring meat sources would be ranked lower than fruit juices or high sugar cereals?
I really think the problem is it's misleading and it's misrepresenting and it's clearly biased.
So as this diet doctor suggests, this is biased. I don't believe a word of this. This is BS. So if you see this chart come out, use it with a grain of salt, quite literally. ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IB Pro. Please watch the bloops. Don't forget you can get my cookbooks. Click the link in the description. Also, Harder Than Last Time supplements. Get those. Training books, coaching plans by me and my team. And until next time, I am out.